Imagine standing at the edge of the sea, the waves crash upon the shore, a rhythmic, endless whisper. What lies beyond that horizon? What secrets are held in the vast blue expanse that covers most of our world? This is a question that has captivated humanity for millennia. Oceanography is the key to unlocking these mysteries. It is the science of the oceans, a grand adventure into the deep. It is not just about fish or waves, but about everything connected to our planet's great bodies of salt water. It is a story of immense pressure, profound darkness, and incredible life, a story that is still being written with every new discovery we make. To truly understand the ocean, we must look at it from different angles. Scientists have divided oceanography into 4 main branches, each a special lens for viewing the sea. The first is geological oceanography. This is the study of the solid earth beneath the waves. These scientists are like detectives of the deep. They map the vast underwater mountain ranges. They map the deep trenches. They study the sediments that have settled for millions of years. Those layers hold history, past climates, volcanic eruptions, and the evolution of life. They investigate how the continents have drifted apart. They study how new ocean floor is constantly being born from molten rock. Next, we have chemical oceanography. This branch focuses on the water itself and what is dissolved within it. Seawater is not just water, it is a complex soup of salts. The floor of the ocean was not always there. It is in a constant state of creation and destruction, a process driven by immense forces deep within the earth. The story begins with plate tectonics. They drift apart, collide, and slide past one another. At the heart of this creation story are the mid-ocean ridges. As they separate, molten rock rises up to fill the gap. When this hot magma meets cold seawater, it cools and solidifies, forming new oceanic crust. This process, seafloor spreading, is like a giant conveyor belt. New seafloor is made at the ridges, pushing older seafloor away on either side. But if new seafloor is always being created, why isn't the Earth getting bigger? The answer lies in deep-sea trenches and subduction, where dense oceanic crust is forced beneath another plate and recycled into the mantle. This recycled crust melts back into the mantle, completing creation and destruction. The ocean floor is geologically active and vibrant, constantly reshaping the face of our planet. If we could drain all the water from the oceans, we would see a landscape more dramatic and varied than any on land. The ocean floor is not a flat, sandy bottom. It is a world of towering mountains, deep valleys, vast plains. Starting from the edge of the continents, we first encounter the continental shelf. Sunlight penetrates these shallow waters, allowing plants and algae to grow. This area is rich in life. It is also where most fisheries and many offshore resources are found. Beyond the shelf, the seafloor drops away steeply, the continental slope. Some submarine canyons are larger than the Grand Canyon on land. These canyons form from powerful turbidity currents, underwater avalanches of sediment and water. At the bottom of the slope lies the continental rise, a gentler incline shaped by sediment. Then the abyssal plain, some of the flattest places on Earth, covered in fine sediment and marine snow. Seamounts can rise to form islands like Hawaii. At ridges we find hydrothermal vents and unique ecosystems thriving on chemical energy. Deep-sea trenches remain the last great unexplored frontiers. Seawater is far more than just water. It possesses unique chemical and physical properties that make life possible. The most obvious property is its saltiness, or salinity. Evaporate a kilogram of seawater and you get about 35 grams of dissolved salts, mostly sodium chloride. That salt comes from weathering of rocks on land, carried by rivers, and from volcanic vents on the seafloor. Salinity affects density, buoyancy, and the freezing point of water. Temperature is another vital property. The ocean has a high heat capacity and heats and cools more slowly than land. It absorbs huge amounts of heat without rising much in temperature, then releases it slowly, a global climate regulator. Temperature changes with depth, creating layers. The thermocline is a rapid temperature drop. Salinity also creates layers, haloclines, so the ocean is generally stratified and resists mixing. Sunlit surface zones support plankton. Below, marine snow falls, trapping nutrients in the deep. Pressure increases with depth. Every 10 meters adds 1 atmosphere. In places like the Mariana Trench, pressure exceeds 1,000 atmospheres, the weight of dozens of jumbo jets. Deep-sea creatures have evolved amazing adaptations to survive. These unique chemical and physical traits shape every corner of the marine world. The ocean is in constant motion, and its movements have a powerful influence on our entire planet. This movement occurs in the form of currents, which are like massive rivers flowing within the ocean. There are 2 main types of currents: Surface currents and deep currents. Surface currents are found in the upper few hundred meters and are primarily driven by the wind. The Earth's rotation deflects these currents to the right in the northern hemisphere, and to the left in the southern hemisphere, creating large circular patterns called gyres. The Gulf Stream in the Atlantic is a famous powerful surface current. Surface currents transport heat and regulate climate by moving warm water poleward and cold water equatorward. Beneath the surface, the thermohaline circulation, the global conveyor belt, moves water slowly through the deep ocean. This deep flow is driven by differences in water density, controlled by temperature and salinity. In polar regions, forming sea ice leaves salt behind. Cold, salty water becomes dense and sinks. This sinking pulls more surface water in, driving slow, deep currents across the globe. Upwelling brings nutrient-rich deep water to the surface, fueling plankton blooms and productive fisheries. This global system completes a circuit over about 1,000 years, a steady heartbeat for our planet. Our journey from the sunlit surface to the dark abyss has revealed a world of incredible complexity and power. The ocean is not merely a body of water, it is the engine of our planet's climate. It is a cradle of immense biodiversity. It is a keeper of Earth's history. Understanding the ocean through oceanography is not just academic, it is essential for our survival. Billions rely on the ocean for food, livelihoods, and culture. The ocean produces more than half the oxygen we breathe thanks to tiny phytoplankton. It also absorbs significant carbon dioxide, helping buffer climate change. But the ocean faces unprecedented threats: warming and acidification, bleaching, pollution from plastics, chemical runoff, harm to wildlife, and overfishing that depletes stocks. To address these challenges, we need more explorers and more scientists, and more citizens who care for our blue planet. We have mapped only a fraction of the seafloor and are still discovering new species and processes. The ocean holds endless questions and infinite wonders. It beckons to the curious. The greatest discoveries are yet to be made.